Hi everyone, good evening and welcome back to Fertility Yoga. Hope everyone's been having a good week. So before I pass over to our lovely instructor Annie, I'll just go through our usual disclaimers. Please remember that when practicing yoga online, it's up to the individual to gauge whether they are ready for the class they've chosen, in this case Fertility Yoga. If you suffer from any specific injuries or disease, best to consult with your doctor first. The practice of yoga requires you, the practitioner, to gauge the safety of your practice with your own personal physical limitations. It's better to build up slowly rather than to force or strain, and while you should feel exertion, you should also feel relaxed. You should always consult your doctor before beginning any new exercise program, and neither Fertility Network nor any parry assume any responsibility for injuries suffered while practicing these techniques. But with that being said, I hope everyone enjoys the session, has a lovely relaxed week, and I'll pass over to you, Annie. Thank you.
Hi everybody, thanks so much for joining us again. I was actually just saying to Emily there, I can't believe it's been a week. I don't know if you guys are the same. Your week has just flown, has for me anyway, and I hope you're all okay. So just we'll get into our session straight away. Just to say the usual thing, listen to your body, listen to your energy levels, listen to what your sort of soul and your spirit really need tonight. Okay, I'll give you little cues, as I always do, of ways to dial things down or to dial it up. All right, so just be very, very mindful. So I just want to quickly touch on chakras. I forget that sometimes I feel like I repeat myself, but other times I think, well, there's new people joining all the time. And I had one of you guys, you're probably on here tonight, put a nice wee post on Instagram just about the colour orange, and she had this thing about, oh, I've heard the colour orange is what we're meant to do in fertility yoga, I'm not really sure why. So she has a lovely orange light on when she's doing fertility yoga, and that's what I tend to do in my studio whenever opens again. We put orange lights on, and it is a bit like, why do we do that? So I'll just quickly tell you why. So in yoga, we do try and we believe in energy centers in the body, quite akin to like Chinese type medicine. Okay, there's lots and lots and lots of them, but really there's 7 main ones, and they kind of go from the pelvic floor all the way up to the crown of the head. So when we're thinking of fertility yoga and which chakras we should really be focusing on, we kind of focus on the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra. So it's not at your pelvic floor, it's up a bit, and for women it happens to be at your womb space. So it's no great surprise why that is the area we want to stimulate and balance ideally. So the way I like to visualize the chakras is visualize it like, so there's that column from the pelvic floor all the way to the crown of the head. Visualize like cogs at all those points. I'll quickly tell you: pelvic floor, sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, right? Crown of the head, right at the crown of the head. And they're like cogs turning. And it so happens that all of those chakras sort of align to a key endocrine gland in the body. Obviously the ancient yogis kind of had a sense that, you know, they knew what they were talking about, but they didn't have the kind of modern medicine to back it up. So for women, it is round about the womb space and your ovaries being that endocrine gland. Okay, so visualize them as whirling kind of cogs that are all intertwined and work together. But sometimes when you hear people say, oh, chakras are not aligned, visualize it as like one of the wee cogs isn't moving right. So what we're trying to do is get that whirring and moving all lovely, if that makes sense. So the other thing is, they say that all of the chakras kind of resonate with a particular colour, and here we get our orange. Okay, so that's where they say that the sacral chakra vibrates or resonates with the colour orange. As simple as that, really. So if you want to kind of really tune into that, then like a wee orange light like that lovely lady on Instagram had, you know, meditating on eating an orange, diffusing orange essential oil, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what we'll have a wee touch on that tonight. wee question popped up there. But we're going to get cracking straight into the yoga, okay? But let me just quickly check your little questions. Sound is really soft. Is it my voice that's really, really soft? Hang on a wee minute. Oh, let me just turn that up. Output. Here we go. Yeah, I will do. If you're in your 2-week wait, I will definitely warn you guys. Volume mixer. I'm go up on that. Sound is great for me, right? Do you know what I'll end up doing? I'll end up living deafening you all. Sound all right, guys? Now, if it's just one person that's finding your sound soft, I've done this before. I've not actually turned my volume up, and I had my husband come in once. I was like, oh, this webinar's like not working, like the sound of the lady isn't working. I just had my volume off on my laptop. Of course, yeah, 2-week wait, I will keep you completely informed on that. Sound is fine for me, was quiet in the intro, right? I've just knocked it up, so hopefully that's okay now. And I'll say if anything isn't suitable for IVF. So for IVF, post retrieval and post implantation, 48 hours of no physical yoga. So you can do the breathing with us, you can do the relaxation with us, but not the physical part in the middle. Any other time of your IVF, you're fine. If you're on stimulation drugs as a part of IVF, all you need to watch is for your own comfort, because I know a lot of it's very bloating, isn't it? It can be quite tender. So that's all you need to watch out for, okay? I'll try my best to keep looking at questions, but you know I do get in the zone, but I'll look at the end as well. All right, guys? So let's get cracking. So what did I want to do for my breathing? Nourishing the chakras and finding your breath, because I'm feeling in a chakra mood tonight. So I want you to lie back. So I want you to actually lie on your back with bent knees. Okay? My favourite constructive breath. If you come every week, you'll know I have a slight obsession with this posture for you guys, because I think for taking pressure out of the hips and taking your attention into the sacral chakra, this is the one. Okay, so there's no tension in the hips because we've bent the knees, but we're also connecting with the sacrum bone, hence sacral chakra. So you should be feeling that kind of slight pressure of the pelvis, and then your womb space is nice and open. So place your hands on your womb space, okay? But kind of like relax your elbows. So you want your elbows to be touching the floor, if that makes sense. If they feel okay lifted from the floor, that's fine, but I want you to be nice and relaxed, okay? I'm just going to sit up, but you guys stay where you are, all right? So we're going to use this breath called finding your breath, and the object is to nourish the chakras, okay? So you're going to, like I say, we're lying on our backs, hands on belly, and just close your eyes, and you're going to begin to breathe deep down into the belly. So your hands on your belly is sort of twofold. It's so that you can sort of shift the energy, the heat, the kind of nourishment of your hands onto your womb space, but also it lets you feel this breath, because it can be really hard to all of a sudden bang, oh, I'm meant to breathe deeply. So just that act of lifting the belly with the breath, the hands move up, and then exhale, it moves back. So just try and breathe there, okay? So there's two parts of it. We breathe into the belly and almost down to the feet, so to speak, to nourish the first and second chakras. And we're also going to breathe up to the solar plexus as well. So we're actually doing the first 3 chakras. And that is because we're interested in the sacral chakra, but we're interested in those other 2 as well. They form what's called a khanda, or a bulb, which is really linked into fertility, okay? All right, so we're being patient. We're not expecting this breath, this deep breath, to kind of come all of a sudden, especially, you know, like the time of this class, 6:30. You've probably been, maybe if you've been working, you've been sort of on the go all day, and then you've just suddenly stopped dead to do your yoga. And we just want to be patient, okay? So just try and use the deep exhales to release. So we release stress with the exhales. We release tension with the exhales. We release toxins and emotions. And because your focus is deep down into the belly, perhaps the emotions that are rising that you need to just get rid of are the ones that we kind of store in that chakra, and that's what we do through all the other chakras. There's kind of emotions that we store there. And then you want to sort of begin to focus onto the pelvic floor as well, perhaps giving it a little lift and a drop with every breath. Now, we're not doing your Kegels here, right? That's a whole other ball game. It's just a gentle squeeze and a drop, okay? If you're on your period, we're just not even squeezing and dropping at all. You're just kind of focusing on the pelvic floor. Okay, so try and feel a nice steady rhythm start to come with the breath. So the inhale is beginning to create a bit of space in that area, if that makes sense. Perhaps if you're feeling a little discomfort from menstrual pain, ovulation pain, stimulation drugs pain, we're just giving a little bit of nourishment and a little bit of love and trying to breathe any of that pain away. Okay. So now we're still in constructive rest. You're still lying on your back, feet on the floor. Now your hands are going to move up to the ribs, so the bottom of the ribs. So see those little floating ribs that come into the solar plexus, and we're sort of just under your breasts. Your hands, I always laugh when I say that because the husbands and the partners do this with us sometimes. So just your ribs, you can still do all this if you're doing this with your partner, but yeah. Okay, so now if you can feel your fingers are kind of just in that soft part of the solar plexus, and you can probably just give it a wee, just feel that soft part, but the rest of your hands are cupped around the ribs. You're going to inhale and expand here. So now it's a real shift. You start to realise you haven't breathed really deep into the lungs and the ribs like that for a wee while, because we do tend to just focus the breath up at the top of the ribs. So now we're feeling the hands expand, the hands move apart and then back together again. Okay, now we're going to move up. Let's give the heart space a little nourishment to another really important chakra when we're doing fertility yoga, because of that little link between the heart and the uterus, a lot like Chinese medicine feel that's a really important channel. Okay, so we're going to bring our hands to so just find your collarbone with your fingers, and your hands are sort of pointing upwards now. And we're going to breathe there. Noticing any physical sensations of tightness, of tension there. And then you're going to feel like you're just sending the breath up again. Keep your hands where they are, but kind of feel the breath moving through the throat and up into the head, almost like your inhales are creating a little bit of clarity of thought, And your exhales are just trying to release the day, release the stress, the emotions, and maybe like any little obsessive thoughts at the moment, just try and breathe them away. And even just whether or not you believe all the chakra stuff, not asking you to if you don't, even just, you know, the act of focusing the breath on those different parts of the body, it really forces you just to breathe deeper, and that can only be a good thing for stress. Okay, now let's try and just give it all a big link up. So now you can take your hands wherever you like. You can take them down by your side, you can take them back onto your womb. Let's visualize big breath moving from pelvic floor through the sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart, throat, all the way to the crown of the head. Big inhale. Exhale all the way back down. You can do that a few times. Inhale all the way up and back down. And hopefully that's a nice opening kind of meditation, just to focus our breath. All right. I'm just going to come and join you guys in that constructive rest, and we're going to begin to move a little bit more. Try and keep that deepness of breath that you've just created, okay? Just try and keep that inhale and exhale through the nose, and that lovely, soft, slow focus on the breath. Okay, let's bring our hands now just sort of onto your hip bones. And we're going to just get the pelvis moving. So we're trying to sort of move any little stagnant energy here that I think a lot of women are living with at the moment because of so much time at home, a lot of working from home, a lot of sitting at desks. Okay, so let's just get things moving. So this is very slight. We're going to start with pelvic tilt. So inhale, lift the coccyx up off the mat, sort of flattening through the spine, almost sending the navel towards the floor, and then as you exhale, tilt the complete other way. And you may feel a lot of tension there. I definitely do. As I'm moving there, it feels like almost like you're getting, it's like a creaky door and you need to add a little oil to just get it moving. So keep going with those tiny pelvic tilts that can get a little bigger as the body responds and kind of lubricates through those muscles and those ligaments and the pelvis. Linking up the breath. Okay, few more. Okay, then we're just going to do a nice little hip roll over. So you can straighten down with your left leg, take it straight along, and we're just going to bring the right knee in towards the chest. First of all, give it a nice old squeeze, unless of course you are on stimulation drugs and that is like too much for your poor belly. You don't have to squeeze in, you can just keep it nice and loose. Okay, then we're going to take the left hand onto the right knee and just kind of draw it across the body. So you'll feel the right side of the pelvis lift, and that's okay because we want to stretch the ligaments at the back. So we want to feel a nice stretch through the glutes. We want to feel a nice stretch through those ligaments that connect the sacrum bone to each side of the pelvis. So if your leg comes all the way over and sits on the floor without rolling onto your sides, then that's fine, go with that. If you're feeling really tight, take it easy, okay? Now I'm not going all the way over to the side, I'm still just taking it easy, warming up. I have spent too much time at a desk today, so I'm just taking it easy, just warming up. So we should have both shoulders on the mat here. And then we'll just come back into centre, and obviously we'll do the other side. So we take the left knee in, drawing it in. and then you'll go over the other way. Perhaps this side feels even more tight, perhaps it feels looser. Okay, so you guys do that, breathe there. Just have a quick check. Let me close the comments. Okay, just breathe in there, okay? Okay, right. So now just come back into centre, take both knees in towards the chest and literally just rock from side to side, just so that you can get a little bit of momentum going so that you can roll onto your side. And we're kind of coming underneath ourselves, so hands onto the floor, push yourself up, table pose. Okay, and we're going to do cat and cow. I feel like I do cat and cow practically in every single class of every single class type that I teach, but I don't make any apologies for it, because see, for getting your pelvis moving and getting to know your back and lengthening it, it's lush, can't beat it. Okay, so we're going to inhale down, and really we're going to take these really slow. Okay, so inhale, dip the navel down, open the chest, relax the shoulders. Focus your attention on your sit bones, okay? So they're the kind of very bottom part of your pelvis, aren't they? Feel them widen here and just feel the pelvis tilt, and it's just giving those ligaments at the back a nice little stretch. And then we rotate the breath, so the next exhale you turn, take your chin towards your chest, and you take your pelvis completely the other way. And we're just focusing on the spine a little bit here, really creating space in the vertebrae, and then keep going. Okay, so that's how slow and steady I want to take it. You may pick up a little bit of pace as you kind of visualize that, like WD-40 on hinges, or like the Tin Man. As you start to sort of open up, you'll maybe be able to move a little better. Also, in your cat cuddles, be strong in your feet. So we don't want like lazy feet that with the toes pointing towards each other like banana feet. We want the toes to be pointing to the bottom of the mat. Okay, let's return to just a neutral spine. Right, we're going to do down dog. So I always say the only people who shouldn't be doing down dog really are if you're on your period, because we want to support that downward flow of energy. And if we flip ourselves up and upside down, we're not doing that, okay? So for you guys, if you're on your moon time, then sink down to child's pose. So take your bum onto your heels and just stretch out with the hands. Otherwise, we're coming to down dog, okay? So see that when we tilted down in the cat cuddle and we focused on the sit bones separating and opening the pelvis, kind of want a bit of that in your down dog, okay? So when you come up to down dog, keep your knees pretty soft for the first couple of breaths, okay? So let's tuck the toes under, push away from the hands, straighten up, like not all the way with the knees, just keep a softness, and just make sure that you're pushing your way away from your wrists. Under your armpits is lovely and open, okay? Your chest is moving towards the thighs or towards the legs. Your gaze is towards your belly, and then can you feel that lovely openness in the pelvis? That's what we're looking for. Then if you like, and you've still got that openness in the pelvis, take the knees, the heels towards the floor. And then down onto your knees. Okay, see that tucking under of the toes that we just did in down dog? Keep them tucked under, okay? And just begin to walk yourself back into stretching the sole. again, I know a lot of you keep coming every week, despite the fact that I make you do this, so it can't be that bad, but it is pretty horrible, isn't it? Where we tuck the toes under and we sit down onto the heels. It's ouchy, isn't it? But we're trying to just work with the breath, okay? So we're going to take our hands into a prayer position, Anjali Mudra, over our heart, and just breathe away to try and do everything we can to distract our brains from that sensation in our feet. If it is bloody agony, then I don't want that, obviously, so just lift up, take your way out, okay? But I want that kind of ouchy discomfort, if that makes sense, all right? And sorry, I just said bloody. I don't really like swearing. Sorry about that. Although I think I have said worse, I'm not going to lie. And you're probably saying worse because I'm making you stay in this. Let's come out now, and then uncurl and tap, 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 tap your feet. Okay. I know it's horrible, but it is so, so nice and so stimulating for lots of lovely meridians of your body. Right. Tuck them under. I'm not making you do it again. I'm just making you come up to standing. All right. So we are going to do just one moon salute this week. Just like to keep them going every week so that it's just resonating with you and maybe it stays in your head. Some weeks we do 3 in a trot, some 2. We're just going to do 1 this week and then move to other standing postures, okay? And there's a wee sip of juice, sorry, parched. Right, up to the top of your mat. If you're new this week, I forgot to say welcome at the start. So you're more than welcome, and please just take it at your own pace. And I hope I'm not whizzing through things too quickly, okay? Okay, moon salutations. Let's get to Tadasana. So spreading the toes, so mountain pose. We want to feel strong as a mountain here. We want to feel grounded, rooted, and it's very, very calming to feel like that, isn't it? Especially if you've been stressed. So take your toes and lift them, spread them and push them down. Then lift, okay? So lift, by lift I mean activate the legs. Let's activate them. Let's be quite strong in our legs. Now our pelvis should be nice and balanced and neutral because we've really worked it and limbered it up. It should be nice and neutral. If you're not on your period, you can give your pelvic floor a little lift up, a gentle draw of your navel in towards the spine, not anything not anything too drastic. Then lifting up all the way to the crown of the head. Okay, so we do 2 forward folds and a chair at the start of our moon salutations, okay? So let's move to the forward fold via upward salute. So let's inhale, lift our hands all the way up above our heads into prayer, and then let's fold forward, okay? Folding over into standing forward fold. Drop your head, your neck, relax, soft knees. Then we're going to inhale up, all the way up again, back into the hands above the head, but this time just keep them at shoulder width, and then sit down as if you've got a chair that's invisible and you're sitting down in it. Chair pose. Very stimulating for the sacral chakra. Inhale, lift again. Exhale, fold forward again. Standing forward fold. Then inhale, take a big step back with your right foot into a low lunge. So we want to drop the knee. We don't want to go for a big high lunge, although we might do one of them later. A low lunge, so really sink down, take that back knee as far back as you can that is comfortable. The front knee is above the ankle. How lush does that feel into your hips at the front and at the back? We're moving to downward dog. You might be able to go from here if you plant your hands down. You might need to just shimmy that foot back into a table and go from there, whatever works for you, into down dog. Just a breath or so in down dog. And then drop the knees down. We're in table, we're taking inhale. And as we exhale, child's pose. So bum down onto heels. Walk the hands out in front, expand the chest towards the floor and the forehead towards the floor. Only a little breath, because we're going to inhale up now to a nice knee stand and lift the hands. I always think this is quite a joyful movement, this knee stand. The chest and the heart is lovely and open. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale back to table, and then inhale and exhale back to child's pose. And then come up to your child's pose to table again and up to down dog again. So tuck the toes under, lift up with the hips. Okay, we're going to come to a low lunge now, okay, on the other side. So it's going to be your right foot that comes forward. So you can either drop the knees and bring the foot forward, or you can lift up if you're feeling quite energized. Lift up with that right leg and then squeeze the knee towards the chest and step it through that way. Okay, low lunge on the other side. You're really only meant to spend a breath in lunges and down dogs, but meant to. I don't know who's telling me that. I think you should spend longer, so we are going to spend longer. Because I think it really helps with getting blood flow into the pelvis and into your womb space and into your ovaries. So that's why we do it. Okay, give a little rock back, tuck the toes under of the left foot and step yourself through into standing forward fold again, and then uncurl all the way up. Bring your hands up above your head and then down to that invisible chair. Inhale, lift and go back to a forward fold. And then bring a big softness into the knees if you haven't already, and begin to uncurl all the way up. Bring your hands to prayer and take them down and bring them over your heart. And then you come back where you started. So that moon salute's quite slow, isn't it? And it's quite a few wee moves all connected, which is why I try and do it every week. That's such a good way to start and end your day. If you only have time, like if you fancy doing yoga kind of every day, but you don't have time for a big hour and a half class, like see that just in the morning and afternoon before bed. So nice. Right, so let me just check my class plan and check I'm keeping to time, because you know what I'm like. I go off piece, don't I? Right, we're going to just do a wide leg forward fold to kick us off with these standing postures. So just wiggle your feet out nice and wide. So really as wide as you can without causing yourself any injury, okay? Everyone's got different levels of flexibility in their hips. Okay, bring your hands to that little joint at the top. I want you to focus on really tilting from there, okay? And I want you to focus on the torso being nice and open, chest nice and open. Okay, then you're going to tilt forward, okay? So just do it nice and gently. Take the chest forward, the feet are firmly planted, And you're just taking the chest and leading it. And then you'll get a wee squeeze into that where you've got your hands, and then you can just drop them. So everybody will have different levels of flexibility, okay? So some people will be able to fold all the way over and their crown of their head rests on the floor. Some people might not have their hands anywhere near the floor. Let's not waste any energy worrying about that, shall we? And if your hands don't reach the floor, what I quite like to do is just fold the arms and let those folded arms come down, and just try and keep your gaze in between your legs, just so that you're definitely releasing the neck and everything. Like, oh, it's just gravity is going to help you pull over, and breathe nice and deeply. Okay, uncurl all the way up. Just feel that lovely rush of blood to the head. So see, right, we'll just walk our feet back in while I'm chatting. So see that kind of pressure onto the crown of the head, whether your head gets anywhere near the ground or not, that's nourishing the crown chakra, and it's nourishing the pineal gland, the third eye. And that's why forward folds are just so good for stress and so good for calming the mind, that lovely rush of blood to the head. Right, we're going to keep standing, okay? So we're going to do warrior 2, all right? So we're going to do warrior 2. So if you remember, warrior 2 is the one with our hands out like this, but we're going to add a little difference. I did this in my class last night actually, eagle arms into warrior 2, okay? You'll see what I mean. I might be talking absolute, I mean, you might not understand the word I'm saying, but you will when I talk you into it, okay? So we're going to go back with the right foot quite wide, like fairly wide, but you're bending into the front leg, okay? And just make sure the knee is above the ankle. The back foot is like either 45 or 90 degrees or somewhere in between, okay? I don't really care how your foot is, as long as you feel super like grounded. We're going for that same grounded feeling we got in that mountain pose. We want to feel strong, we want to feel grounded. If you're feeling your energy levels are just not even coping with this, why don't you just drop back to the floor? Why don't you do cat curls? Why don't you do child's pose? Why don't you really listen to your body, okay? Right, so we're sinking down. So our hips are lovely and open here, aren't they? They're open. They're not turned forward. They are nice and open, and we're kind of settling down. So like I said, our hands are usually out like this in warrior 2. But we're going to bring them in and kind of wrap them up together, okay? So we're going to take the right hand across the body like this. We're going to take the left hand out the way it kind of normally is in a warrior 2. And then we're going to draw it underneath, if we can, and melt the kind of backs of hands and backs of arms together. There's another little reach you can go for, which is taking the left hand onto the right palm, but if that doesn't feel good, then don't do it. If you're struggling with any of those binds, give yourself a nice hug, okay? That's the other option. Okay, so we're going to kind of sink down a little more into the legs, and also lift a little into the hands. And whenever I teach fertility yoga and I teach a warrior pose, any of the warriors, I get you to repeat this affirmation, which is I am strong. So I want you to say that affirmation to yourself now, either in your own head or out loud. I am strong. Let's untwine that. Quite good into the shoulders. It's lovely just to release a little bit of tension, isn't it? And then we're going to come up to the front of the mat again and just do the other side. So I'll turn so that I'm facing you. So now it's left foot back, okay? Sinking down. So try to keep the front knee strong above the ankle, because then that will stop you collapsing in with the thigh or letting it drift too far out. Strong thigh. Okay, arms out into our usual warrior 2 position, and then we're going to bring the left hand in, and we're going to bring the right hand under it, and then we're going to lift, and we're going to sink into the hips, and you're going to say your affirmation again. I am strong. Okay, unravel it all and step up. Okay, right, so let's move towards the mat. So we're going back to, right, so okay, start again, Annie. I want to do some prone postures, okay? So I want to do some postures on your tummy, because if you're in the first half of your cycle up to ovulation and maybe just slightly after, in fact, you know, second half of the cycle, just leave your prone postures, okay? So I'll give you options for not doing them, all right? Let me have a sip of water. So if you're in the first half of the cycle, we're going to do postures that are lying down on our tummies. If you are in the second half of the cycle, then you're just going to work away with a little flow, okay? So you're going to go child's pose for about 5, cat cuddles for about 5, down dog for about 5, okay? So we've done all those 3, so you should know what you're doing. So child's pose, cat cuddles, and down dog, and just link a wee flow with all of them, okay? Because I do feel that with this class, it is important that we focus on first half of the cycle as well, okay? And often I skip these prone postures, but they're very important as well, all right? So we're going to come onto our tummies if we're first half of the cycle, ladies. So we're just going to come down, bend the elbows, and come down onto the tummies, right? So we're going to do a cobra, like a flow with cobra, moving up and down. So we'll do that first, okay? So we're going to take our hands underneath our shoulders, and we're just going to inhale and lift. So we're lifting up with the whole torso, the pubic bone still on the mat, the legs are nice and extended. And then when you exhale, you just soften down. So you'll feel your womb space come down, and you're melting all the way down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And we'll just do one more. Okay, now we're going to come into a locust, okay? So we're going to essentially take the hands out of commission, right? But they're still going to do something. So you're going to take your hands and just pop them underneath you onto your womb, okay? So kind of rock up onto the side and then pop hands over. And then your hands, so meet your thumb and your index finger on your womb, okay? And this will be a tiny little motion, but it's really stimulating. It's a locust, right? So you're going to let's keep the legs down on the mat for now, and you're literally going to uncurl. So we're going to take the chest off the mat, the shoulders and the head, and it's a tiny little range of motion, okay? But can you feel how that pushes right into the womb? Exhale down again, and do that a few times, okay? Okay, then come down, and then for the last couple of breaths, if you like, when you lift up with your torso, You can lift your feet and your legs up as well, so it's putting an extra sort of pressure there. You don't have to lift your legs, you can just come up and sort of hold for a little bit. So you're lifting up, shoulders are quite relaxed, but it's hard to talk and do this. Chest is open, and your soles of your feet are reaching up off the ground. And then let's drop down. Let's pop our hands out from under there. Take them under the shoulders, and let's everybody come into child's pose. No matter what part of your cycle you're in, let's all come into child's pose for a few breaths. Okay, and walk ourselves back. So can you feel how stimulating that is? So obviously it makes sense in the first half of the cycle we would be going, well, for a starter, energy levels are higher, completely different hormones in play, so we've got the energy to do more stimulating things like that, but we can give our ovaries a little bit of extra blood flow by doing little postures like that. So we just want to do one more of those quite stimulating ones, but this is your option for second half of the cycle or any other kind of whatever treatments you're going through, and it's called hair pose, and it's really, really good for like calming the mind, because remember when I said we did our forward fold and all the blood flow onto the crown of the head, this hair pose is you're going to go onto the crown of your head. Okay, so we're sitting here with our bum on our heels, and you're just going to start to fold forward, and you're literally going to take the chin down onto the chest, and you're going to let the crown of the head sit onto the floor. Now you can lift your bum up off your heels to make sure you're perched on the top of your head. So breathe there for as long as feels comfortable. First half of the cycle, ladies, we are going to make fists with our hands and find the top of the thigh and just pop your hand in there, your hands in there, and then you're going to fold forward, but don't go for the crown of the head, we're just folding forward. Okay, so this is quite stimulating. Okay, so folding forward, taking maybe the forehead towards the mat, and you're just giving a little bit. You can even move your fist slightly. And then everybody come back up. Okay, so that was two very similar but very different postures, wasn't it? Hair pose just for calming the mind. Virasana with a stimulation with our fists is for the first half of the cycle. All right, here I go again. I want to do so much more, but I don't have time. We're just going to do a couple of forward folds then, okay? What do we want to do? Shavasana, head to knee pose, okay? So we're going to take the left leg nice and straight, and we're going to take the right foot onto the left thigh, all right? So really trying to draw it quite far up the thigh, if you can. And we want to feel quite balanced either side, even though we've kind of bent one leg, still want to feel quite rooted through the sit bones, all right? Take your shoulders and turn them ever so slightly over the straight leg. All right, so we're going to inhale and lift our hands. As we're doing that, we're lifting up with the hips, and we're tilting the hips, and we're starting to reach forward towards the foot even. But don't worry if your hands are nowhere near your foot. Just place them on the leg and just melt forward. Okay, we want quite a straight back. We want to be reaching beyond the knee. Okay, come all the way up and over to the other side. Quite active through that straight leg, okay? Remember your toes need to be nice and active, sort of drawn back towards you as well, heel reaching away. Okay, inhale, lift, exhale, folding forward. Okay, come all the way up, nice and gently, uncurling. Let's go wide with the legs, okay? Nice wide leg forward fold. Okay, so nice and same things really, active legs, toes quite active. Nice and lifted with the spine and almost lifting your hip bones up. Okay, so we really want to lift and feel this sense of openness in the chest and straightness in the back. We want to maintain that as we fold forward, okay? So let's not worry about how far forward we go. Okay, let's really focus on the lovely blood flow that's going to move through the pelvis instead, okay? Inhale, lift, and fold forward. Just walking your hands forward. Nice, soft, gentle breathing. Walk yourself back, all the way back. Keep your hands going and take them behind. And lift up and just lean into the hands and open the chest and gaze up. Okay, come back up and bend both knees now and bring the soles of the feet together. So we'll end with a nice Baddha Konasana. Alright. Lifting and lengthening. Bringing the hands just resting on the ankles or making that basket with your hands. Knees coming towards the floor, chest open, lovely open channel between the heart and the womb. And just fold forward ever so slightly. So you can really go for it if you're first half of the cycle. Otherwise, maybe you're not folding forward quite so much. Okay, coming back up. So you can take your legs straight, give them a little wobble. Okay, give your thumb into the top of the legs and give a little wee tiny massage into the top of the legs. It's now time for Shavasana, ladies, okay? Time for you to really consolidate everything you've done in class and really time for blissful rest for your body, which I'm sure it needs, okay? So get yourself comfortable and cozy, lying on your back in corpse pose. So your feet are kind of apart, your hands are out by your sides. If that doesn't feel comfortable tonight, just get yourself comfortable however you want to. Maybe lying on your side is for you tonight. Maybe bringing lots of cushions in and having cushions underneath your knees. One under your head, that might be for you tonight. Maybe even, we've just done Baddha Konasana sitting up there, maybe lying on your back in reclined Baddha Konasana is for you. Okay? Right. I'll let you just have a wee minute just to get organised. And then when you're ready, you're just going to invite the eyes to close. And you're going to allow the body to feel completely and totally supported by the mat that you're lying on. Or maybe you've moved to another surface. Maybe you're on your couch, maybe you're on your bed. Either way, you're going on a relaxing journey tonight. And we want to really ask the body to let go. And sometimes that feels hard. So, to allow that to happen, we're going to ask the body to feel heavy, the limbs to feel heavy, hands, arms, legs and feet to feel heavy, moving down and away. The head feeling heavy too. Whole body's feeling dense, as if it can no longer hold on. And then allow yourself to let go. Start to concentrate on the breath. Connect up to the rhythm of the breath. Feel where you're breathing from. Do you feel the abdomen slowly rise and fall? Do you feel the belly? The chest maybe? Is it the shoulders that are rising and falling with the breath? Allow the breath to gently raise the belly, to widen the rib cage, to open the heart center, just like we did at the start of the practice. Remember those 4 points of the breath that really anchor you in your relaxation. If the mind begins to wander, all you have to do is focus on the inhalation, the pause, the exhalation, and the still point. Your breath is beginning to feel easeful. Your body is feeling fully supported by the floor. The body breathing without any interference. Even your face has let go and softened. The lower jaw has slightly dropped. Your face is feeling released. The eyes, the eyebrows, eyelids relaxing in pools of darkness. Temples, the nose, the tip of the nose, the cheeks and the cheekbones, the upper lip and the lower lip, the jaw and the hinges of the jaw, the whole body, releasing down, sinking into the mat. Some visualizations now. So as I mention each image, just focus on the image I mention and then quickly move on to the next. Visualize lying on a warm blanket, an indigo sky, a moonlit night, shooting stars, shadows crossing the moon, clusters of stars, the Milky Way, the moon lighting up the ocean, the gentle ripple of the waves, the calm blue ocean, the reflection of light, the stillness, the tranquility, a lighthouse, a sudden flash of light, a clear beam of light, the light beaming on the ocean. I am peaceful. I am still. I am. And now some positive affirmations for your fertility journey. I am not alone. I share feelings with those who love me. I am safe. I am loved. And I am supported. I am confident in our ability to have a child. I take each day as it comes. I allow myself to be happy and loved. So you don't have to actively remember all of those affirmations. Just know that you're listening entirely with your subconscious mind now in this relaxed state. And these affirmations are rooted deep into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. So as I always do, I will leave the music running for those of you who want to stay in this state of relaxation. Some of you may feel you've taken all the blessings that you need from the practice, and that's fine too. I'm bowing to you all, and I'm so thankful to you all for coming. Lots and lots of love for the week ahead.